Blazer. Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the wall. This game is over. Correa ends it. Series is tied in a game apiece.
The Houston Astros just won the trade deadline! Raise the banner! Not one! Not two! Give them three! Carlos Javier Correa Oppenheimer Jr. It's never goodbye! He's coming home! Three-time All-Star! Gold Glover! Platinum Glove! I don't even know what that is! World Series champ! Don't tell me about his stats, dork! C4! The Astros have 6 Gold Glovers! They got a guy named Jesus! They're somehow still under the luxury tax! Dana Brown is gone! And Jim Crane, D3 pitching legend, is the most competitive owner in sports! Hello and welcome aboard the Paul Gallant Show. It is Friday. Gotta get down on Friday, August 1st, 2025. God doesn't will it. Jim Crane wills it, baby. The Houston Astros, 4 minutes after we went off the air yesterday, did something I did not expect them to do. I did not think that they had the assets to go and get really anyone of consequence. I thought the guy that they got yesterday, whose name is now eluding me because of getting Carlos Correa and getting Jesus Sanchez, Hector Urias, who plays a little third base. Ramon, say again. Doesn't matter. He's not even going to play now. When they made that move, I was like, okay, they got a guy who's good at defense. They replaced Paredes temporarily. He's going to be out 6 to 7 months with a hamstring injury. This is probably going to be it. Bob Nightingale, after all, had reported that Carlos Correa talks were all but dead. But the Astros got Carlos Correa from the Minnesota Twins, assuming that he passes a physical. He'll play third base, and they didn't give up much to do it. I have no idea who the hell Matt Mikulski is, but the Twins were over a barrel. They're about $400 million in debt or so, and Dana Brown and Jim Crane caught him. So Minnesota's going to send $33 million over to help cover Correa's remaining contract. He's owed $96 million through 2028 with club options 2029, 2030, 2031, and 2032. So he's under contract for a while, but the Astros can theoretically get out of it in a couple of years. Offensively, the numbers aren't great. You hope that him rejoining the Astros lights a fire underneath him, because this season in Minnesota has apparently been very depressing. They just traded off a lot of guys at the deadline. Somehow, despite taking on $70 million, the Astros are still under the luxury tax threshold. I don't know how they did it, but credit to Dana Brown and credit to Jim Crane. The other guy that the Astros got, Jesus Sanchez, an outfielder from the Marlins, who's really good against right-handed hitters. He also is under club control for the next 2 years. He'll play a bunch of left field, and per Dana Brown, every now and then he'll be in right field when Cam Smith needs a break. So they brought in 3 guys who give him some much-needed offense and who also just give him somebody to step in for Isaac Paredes, who's out for the rest of the year. These moves make the Astros better, and that they were able to make these moves without giving up anyone of consequence is something that you all should be giving Dana Brown a lot of credit for. I've seen a lot of criticism towards Dana Brown over the last couple of days, and if the Astros had not done anything yesterday after our show went off the air, I would not have been mad, but I know a lot of you guys would have been. I think a lot of you would have pointed at the Astros and said, all of these injuries, how are they going to be able to hold off these teams in the American League West? The Mariners just traded for Eugenio Suarez. They got a reliever too. The Rangers, they're at least trying, it seems, to hang in there too. Are they really going to be able to hold everyone off? I figured if I'm Astros, if I'm Dana Brown, I'm going to say to myself, you know what? I'm just going to hope that a bunch of these guys come back from injury. These reinforcements will be enough to get me to the playoffs. And hopefully by then, you'll have a healthy Jordan who's actually hitting the way he wasn't earlier this year. You'll have Pena. You'll have all your pitchers back. Instead, now you've brought in a couple of players. You have given yourself an injection of energy in bringing back a guy in Carlos Correa who is well liked, at least among the Astros who have been there since Correa was last there. Basically, in a nutshell, this is what Dana Brown and Jim Crane have done. They get Carlos Correa, they get Ramon Urias, Jesus Sanchez, and cash for Correa in exchange for Ryan Gusto, tip of the hat to him, prospect Twine Palmer, prospect Chase Jaworski, and prospect Esmil Valencia. Maybe one of these guys ends up being good. The odds are probably not. You didn't give up Bryce Matthews to get this guy. You did not give up Jacob Melton to get this guy. You didn't give up Zach DeZenzo to get this guy. You didn't give up Spencer Arrighetti to get this guy. You didn't give up anyone that's super important to your future, at least the way things look right now, to get him. The Sanchez deal in particular really looks like a steal. And when you now look at this Astros team, once again, I think you got to give credit to Dana Brown. Again, if you were criticizing him the last couple of days, I think you owe him an apology. And you got to give a tip of the hat to Jim Crane. Crane might not run the most fun ship. Clearly, there's some people that work for the Astros that have sour feelings towards him. But there is no denying that this guy's about as competitive as it gets. He greenlit all of these moves. He greenlit taking on all of that salary. That deserves credit. Not a lot of owners go about it that way. Look at what the Boston Red Sox did after shedding $260 million in salary. After the trade deadline, they were talking about how they were limited financially. They just got rid of Devers. There's other teams that did the same thing, that they really didn't go all in. Outside of maybe the Padres, who do not care about prospects and will trade them on a dime. And they got Mason Miller from the Oakland A's, who's a great reliever. Jim Crane's right up there, too. They don't have the biggest payroll in baseball. They let guys walk that I know a lot of people get bummed out about when they do leave, but they always seem to find the next guy up. This is an organization that always finds a way to grab you and keep your attention and give you the best, most competitive product that they possibly can. And considering all the injuries that they have been through, that they were able to do this in addition to having the limited assets that they do without having to give up anything, at least in the right now, that looks like it's going to hurt them, is a hell of a move. It's a hell of a day. You should be pumped.